She was not one of them. The night was cold. The streets were quiet. Lights flickered above broken buildings. A strange girl walked alone. Her skin had a soft blue glow. Her eyes were wide, full of fear. She looked different. She was not from this world. People saw her. But they looked away. Some whispered. Some closed their windows. No one wanted to go near her. She was a stranger. She was not one of them. The girl stopped near a street corner. She looked tired, dirty, weak. Her clothes were torn. Her hands were shaking. She sat down on the cold ground, holding her knees. Her body was thin. Her face was young, maybe 17 or 18. But her eyes ... they looked older. Like they had seen too much. A soft wind blew dust around her. She didn't care. She didn't move. Then came the voice. From her memories, "You are not one of us," her uncle had shouted. "You bring danger." Her aunt had cried, "We must protect the others. You must leave." They had pushed her outside, closed the door, left her alone. She had screamed. She had begged. But no one listened. That was 3 nights ago. Since then, she had walked and walked. No food, no water. Nowhere to go. She was not from Earth. She was not from any place near. She had no name here, no family, no friends, and yet someone was watching her. From across the street, behind a broken car, a man stood still. He had been watching her for a while. His name was Daniel. He wore an old jacket and carried a small bag. His eyes were sharp but kind. He was not afraid of her. He had seen strange things before, but never like this. Never someone like her. Daniel moved slowly. He stepped closer, quietly. The girl looked up. She saw him. She jumped to her feet, ready to run. Her hands glowed faintly. A strange energy buzzed in the air. Daniel raised his hands. "I won't hurt you," he said slowly. She didn't understand the words, but she felt the calm in his voice. Her glowing hands dimmed. Daniel placed a small piece of bread on the ground. Then a bottle of water. He stepped back. She looked at the food. Then at him. Her stomach hurt. Her throat was dry. She waited. Then took the bread. Ate it in seconds. Drank all the water. Daniel smiled, but said nothing. She stared at him. A long moment passed. Then she sat back down. This time she didn't look away. Daniel slowly sat a few feet away. He didn't speak again. He just looked at the sky. The girl followed his gaze. She saw the stars. So many stars. She remembered her home planet. It had purple skies and silver trees. It had songs in the wind. It had people who once loved her. She closed her eyes. A single tear fell. Suddenly, her hand glowed again. A small, round object came out from under her sleeve. It floated above her palm. Soft light circled around it. Daniel leaned forward. "What is that?" As he looked, his eyes widened. The object was showing symbols, strange, moving shapes. Then, an image, a planet, not Earth. He blinked. And in that moment, a flash, a vision hit him like a dream. He saw fire. He saw alien ships in the sky. He saw the girl standing alone in the middle of destruction. He saw something worse coming. He gasped and fell back. The girl quickly closed her hand. The object vanished. She stood up, afraid. Daniel looked at her, breathing hard. "Who are you?" he whispered. She didn't answer. She just stared at him, her glowing eyes now full of sadness. And something else. Power. Then, from far away, a sound, a low hum, a strange buzz. Something not human. She turned her head. Her face changed. She knew what it was. They were coming, her own kind. But not to help her. To find her. To stop her. She ran into the shadows. Daniel stood up slowly, still shaken. He looked at the place where she had sat. The ground was still glowing faint blue. He didn't know what she was, but he knew one thing. She was not safe. And now, Neither was he. The night had fallen deep. The city slept. But she could not. She was hiding inside an old, broken bus. Windows were cracked. Seats were torn. Dust covered everything. But it was quiet. And warm enough to stay alive. She sat at the back, knees against her chest, her arms wrapped around herself. She didn't sleep. She couldn't. Her eyes stared at the dark. They glowed softly like tiny moons. Outside, the wind whispered through the broken glass. Somewhere far, a dog barked. A train passed with a loud screech. But closer than all of that. Footsteps. Slow. Careful. She turned her head. Someone was coming. She stood up fast. Her hand glowed again, the energy inside her waking up. Not strong, but ready. Then the door creaked open. It was him. The man from before. The one with quiet eyes. The one who gave her food. He stepped in slowly, holding something in both hands, not a weapon, a small, warm blanket, and soup. The steam rose in the cold air. She didn't move. Her hand was still glowing. She didn't trust him yet. He spoke. Calm and slow. You looked cold, he said, and hungry again. He placed the blanket on a seat, set the soup beside it, then stepped back. He didn't come closer. Didn't ask questions. Just stood near the door. She looked at the soup, then back at him. Why? She asked. Her voice was quiet, unsure. Her first word in English. The man smiled a little. Because you looked lost, he said. She didn't understand all the words. But she understood something else. His eyes. They were not full of fear, not full of hate. They were full of something different. Kindness. Slowly she stepped forward. Picked up the soup. Smelled it. Her stomach growled. She drank fast, like it might disappear. The man watched. Said nothing. Then he turned to leave, but stopped. Do you have a name? He asked. She thought for a moment. Then said in a low voice, I don't remember. She lied. She remembered her name, but it was dangerous now. The man nodded. I'm Daniel, he said, pointing to himself. Daniel. She looked at him. Neil, she repeated. He smiled. Close enough. Then he walked away into the night. She watched him go. The blanket warm in her arms. For the first time in days, she felt safe. Even if just for a few minutes. Next morning, Daniel returned. This time, he brought more food, clean water, and some clothes. He didn't talk much. He didn't ask about her past. He just helped. Every day, he came back. And every day she waited. She started speaking more. Small words. Simple things. They didn't understand everything. But they started to connect. She told him about the stars and the fear. He showed her pictures of Earth. Oceans, mountains, animals. One day, she smiled. A real smile. Daniel laughed. First smile. I must be doing something right. But not everything was right. Something was coming. That night. She had a nightmare. She saw her home planet again. Fire. War. Shouting. She saw the council, her uncle yelling. The strange object in her hand glowing brighter than ever. And then she saw him. An alien soldier, one eye, metal arm, chasing her through space. She woke up screaming. Daniel rushed in. Are you okay? He asked. She was sweating, breathing fast. They're coming, she whispered. Daniel looked confused. Who? She looked at him, her eyes wide. My people, she said. They want me back. Daniel froze. Why? She held out her hand. The glowing orb reappeared. The same one he had seen before. It floated between them. It showed images, galaxies, symbols, a locked gate. Then a voice came in a language Daniel didn't know, but the meaning was clear. She was not just any alien girl. She was carrying something powerful, something her people would kill to get back. Cliffhanger. Ending. Suddenly, the bus shook. The lights blinked. They both looked outside. A black drone flew above the street. Round, silent, scanning. She whispered, "They found me." Daniel pulled her close. "We have to move." She nodded. And, for the first time, she trusted him. It started with a voice, not outside. Inside her mind, a soft whisper, echoing in a strange language, one she knew too well. "Protect the key, child, even if it means losing everything." She opened her eyes, breathing hard. She had fallen. Asleep in a small cabin Daniel had found for them, hidden in the woods, far from the city. The place was quiet, safe. For now Daniel was outside, cutting wood. But inside, she was somewhere else, still trapped in her past. Flashback. A bright, silver room. Tall alien figures in long robes, her people. Her family. She stood in the middle, younger than now, afraid. One of them, her uncle, pointed at her with cold eyes. "She was born with it," he said. "The core, the power. She will bring danger to us all," another said. "No one must know what she carries." Then they locked something inside her palm, a glowing sphere, using light, not metal. The pain was sharp. But the silence afterward was worse. No one looked at her again. They turned and walked away, left her alone. She woke again in the cabin. Her hand was glowing. The same symbol pulsed under her skin, like a soft heartbeat. Daniel stepped inside. "Bad dream again," she nodded. She didn't lie this time. "Yes," she said, "but also memory." Daniel sat across from her. "Do you remember what they did to you?" She looked at him. "I carry something," she said slowly. "A piece of a gate." Daniel frowned. "A gate?" "Yes, between galaxies. Between worlds. My people, they fear it. But they also want it." He leaned forward. "Why?" She stared at the fire. "Because the one who controls it, controls everything." Meanwhile, back in the city, inside a secret lab, two men watched. Blurry footage from a street drone. A girl with glowing hands. A man beside her. A strange energy signal. One of them, an older man in a black suit, spoke. "She's not just an alien. She's a weapon." The second nodded. "And the human is helping her." He was part of Project Signal. "He knows more than we thought." "Send a team," the man ordered. "I want her alive." Back in the forest, that evening, the sky turned red. Arya, the girl's real name, stood outside the cabin, watching the stars appear. Daniel joined her. "What are you thinking?" She said nothing for a moment. Then, "You don't ask why." "I was thrown away." Daniel looked at her. "Because it doesn't matter to me," he said. "What matters is you didn't give up." She looked at him. "On my world, kindness is weakness." "Then your world is broken," he replied. A quiet smile touched her face, the first in days. Then suddenly, she dropped to the ground. A sharp sound filled the air, a high-frequency hum. Daniel looked up. A small metal dart was stuck in her back, blinking red. He turned just in time to see dark shapes moving between trees. "Run!" he shouted, but she couldn't move. Daniel picked her up, holding her tightly, and ran into the forest. Laser sights flashed behind them. Trees exploded. Lights danced through the fog. Arya looked up at him, weak but awake. "Don't let them take me," she whispered. He held her closer. "I won't." Inside the forest, secret cave. After an hour of running, they reached an old mining cave. Daniel had found it years ago. He placed her down gently. She was sweating, shaking. Her hand was glowing brighter now, not from power, but from pain. Daniel looked at it. "Is that thing inside you hurting you?" She nodded slowly. "It's waking up. It doesn't like danger." He stared at her. "What happens if it wakes completely?" She looked into his eyes. "Then I become something I can't control." Cliffhanger ending. Suddenly, the glow from her hand floated upward. The sphere appeared again, spinning fast. This time, it didn't show maps. It showed faces. Daniel's face, the alien soldier's face, and a third one, a young child. With Arya's eyes, Daniel stepped back. What is this? Arya's voice shook. It's not just a gate. She looked at him, terrified. It's a memory from the future. Silence. But not peace. The cave was dark, cold, and still. The fire had died. Smoke moved slowly in the air. Arya sat on the ground, her eyes open, glowing faintly in the dark. But her mind was far away. She was seeing something, not with her eyes, but with her gift. Soldiers, ships, dogs, metal. They were close, too close. She gasped and looked at Daniel. They are here. Daniel stood up fast. How close? Minutes, she whispered. He grabbed the backpack, some water, a small weapon he hoped he wouldn't need. No more running, he said. But Arya shook her head. We must. Outside. The cave, the first signal in the woods above. 6 black drones flew in slow patterns. Their red lights blinked in sync. Below them, men in armor moved like shadows, silent, fast. One of them held a glowing tracker. It's moving, he said. Signal just shifted. They know we're here. Another soldier raised his gun. Then let's say hello. Back in. The forest running again. Daniel and Arya ran through the trees. Moonlight guided them. Their breath was loud. Their legs heavy. Daniel turned. If I slow you down, you don't, Arya said sharply. But you could fly, or vanish, or do whatever it is you do. She stopped running and looked at him. I could, she said. But I won't leave you. Then behind them, a sound tore through the forest. A long, mechanical scream. Then a flash. A laser beam struck a tree inches from Daniel's head. It exploded in flames. Daniel pulled Arya down behind a rock. They're trying to trap us, he said. They won't, Arya whispered. Her hands began to glow again, brighter than ever before. First use of her power, full force. Arya stood up. She raised both hands. A soft hum filled the air. Then thunder. The ground shook. Leaves flew. The light from her palms exploded outward like a silent wave. In the distance, the soldiers fell back. One drone dropped from the sky, dead like a bird. Retreat. One of them yelled, but Arya fell to her knees. She was bleeding from her nose, breathing hard. Daniel ran to her. You said you can't control it. I didn't, she said. I let it go. A moment of calm. Inside an old church. Hours later, they found an old church deep in the woods. Broken, but standing. Inside it was quiet. Dust and old candles. A single beam of light through the roof. Arya lay on the floor, weak. Daniel sat beside her. He touched her hand. Why do they want you so badly? She didn't answer right away. Then, because I can open something that should stay closed. He looked at her. A gate? No, a memory. Of everything we were, and everything we will be. Daniel didn't understand all of it. But he believed her. You're not a weapon, he said. You're a warning. Meanwhile, back at Base Commander Lex, the man in the black suit, stared at the satellite feed. The girl had taken down a drone with no tools. No weapons. Just thought. She's maturing, he said. The Gate Core is bonding with her emotions. This is dangerous. His assistant asked, do we kill her now? No, he said. We let her run a little longer. He turned toward the dark window. She lead us to the other piece. Back at the church, new revelation. Arya suddenly opened her eyes. She sat up straight, panic on her face. Daniel jumped. What is it? I saw something, she said. Another one. Another what? Another like me. But not like me. He's older, stronger. He holds the other half of the gate. Daniel frowned. Where is he? She stared at him. He's on Earth. Cliffhanger ending. Suddenly, all the candles inside the church lit up by themselves. A wind blew through the windows. The front door opened slowly. A figure stood there, half human, half machine, metal arm. One glowing eye. The hunter. He said one word. Arya. She stood slowly, her voice steady. I hoped it wasn't you. Daniel looked between them. You know him? Arya nodded. He was my brother. He didn't bleed. Not like humans do. The man, if he could still be called, that stepped into the church slowly. His footsteps made no sound. His metal arm reflected the candlelight. His face was sharp, cold, and scarred. One glowing red eye blinked slowly. The other was dark, empty, but his voice was soft. Hello, sister. Arya didn't speak. Her hands glowed, not with fear, but with anger. Daniel stood between them, confused but alert. You said he was your brother, he whispered. What happened to him? Arya's voice cracked. He died, and then they rebuilt him. The hunter smiled. Not died, Arya. Upgraded. Flashback. The last day on her planet, a long hallway. A planet under war. Young Arya ran through a burning temple. Her brother, tall and proud, stood before her, protecting her from soldiers. He had promised to take her away, but then the explosion happened. She remembered metal shrapnel. Blood, his scream. They had told her he was gone, but they lied. Back in the church, Daniel pointed his small weapon. What do you want? The hunter raised one hand. I want to talk. He looked at Arya. I didn't come to kill you. I came to finish what we started. Arya stepped forward. You tried to protect me once. Now you hunt me. He lowered his head. Because I know what's inside you. And what it can do. I saw it before they erased my mind. Arya blinked. They used you, didn't they? The hunter nodded slowly. Just like they're using him. He looked at Daniel. Sudden twist. Daniel's past revealed. Arya looked at Daniel, confused. What is he talking about? Daniel stepped back. I don't know, but the hunter kept speaking. He was part of the program. A human experiment. Project Signal. They trained him to find us alien signals, alien minds. Daniel looked stunned. I left that program years ago, he said. I didn't know they were using me to find you. Arya's eyes were wide. Her voice shook. So, the reason you found me wasn't by accident? Daniel's silence was the answer. She turned away. Then there's no one left to trust. Outside, the government watches. Commander Lex sat in a black van, watching the live feed from a hidden drone above the church. Interesting reunion, he muttered. She knows now. He knows. This ends soon. His assistant looked worried. They're all unstable, sir. Lex smiled. Exactly how we planned it. Back in the church, the broken truth. The hunter took a small device from his coat, a cube of light and data. He placed it on the floor. A hologram appeared, an alien council, speaking to humans in black suits. Split the core between the two children. Control the gate from both ends. If one resists, use the other. Arya watched, frozen. It was never about protection, she said. It was about power. Daniel stepped closer. I didn't know. I swear, but I believe. You now. The hunter looked at them both. You're running out of time. The second date is waking up. Earth can't hold it. Decision time. Arya walked to the window, staring at the rising sun. I was thrown away, she said quietly. But maybe that was a gift. She turned to both men. Now I choose what to do with what's inside me. Daniel nodded. What will you do? She looked at the glowing mark on her hand. Find the full gate. Lock it. Forever. The hunter shook his head. That won't work anymore. Why not? Daniel asked. The hunter raised his metal hand. Because someone already opened it. Cliffhanger ending. Suddenly, the church walls shook. The ground trembled. In the distance, a portal opened in the sky. Purple light. Floating debris. Wind pulling the trees upward. Arya whispered. No. They activated it early. Daniel grabbed her arm. What do we do? She looked up, eyes glowing bright now. We go in. The sky had torn open. It wasn't lightning. It wasn't a storm. It was something older and far more dangerous. A massive tear in the air hovered above the trees, a glowing portal made of spinning energy, purple light, and flickering stars. The world around it had stopped, birds frozen mid-flight, leaves hanging still in the air. Time was breaking. Arya stood at the edge of a cliff, staring at the sky like it was a mirror. Her eyes reflected the same light coming from the portal. Daniel stood behind her, breathing hard, dirt and blood on his face. That's it, isn't it? He said. The real gate. Arya nodded slowly. They opened it, without me, which means they used someone else. Daniel looked at her. Who? The answer came from behind them. The hunter, half-brother, half-machine, all pain. Me, he said. The truth breaks everything. Arya turned. You helped them? He didn't blink. I had no choice. They rebuilt me. They programmed me to finish what we started as children. You had a choice, she snapped. You still do. He looked at his metal hand. For the first time, his voice softened. Maybe, but choices come with cost. Daniel stepped forward. So now what? We just watch the world break? The hunter looked at Arya. There's still one way to close it. One key. You. Flashback. Long ago, two children stood in a glowing cave, Arya and her brother. Between them floated a crystal of light, the first core of the gate. They were chosen. They were marked, but the energy inside it was too powerful. It needed two hearts, one of courage, one of sacrifice. They had tried to hide it, but power always finds a way out. Back to the present. Arya looked at her glowing hand. So they opened the gate using your signal. Yes, the hunter said. But they can't control it. Only you can. Daniel grabbed her arm gently. You don't have to go in there. We can find another way. She looked at him. There is no other way. Journey to the portal together. The three of them climbed the rocky hill toward the pulsing sky door. Wind pushed against them like waves. Energy crackled in the air. There. Bodies grew lighter with each step. At the top, the portal roared like a dying star. Arya looked at Daniel. If I go in and don't come back, don't, he said. Don't say it. But she smiled. I need to. She reached into his hand and pressed something into it. The glowing memory sphere from before. If I'm lost, this will show you why I did it. The gate speaks. As they stood before the gate, it spoke, not with sound, with memory. Arya saw herself as a child again, crying, alone, locked in a room by her own family. Too dangerous, they had whispered, too powerful, but now she was no one's weapon, no one's mistake. She was her own answer. Final choice. Daniel turned to her. I'll go in with you. But she shook her head. Only one can seal it. The other must stay, to remember. Daniel's voice cracked. But I don't want to remember. I want to help. She leaned forward and touched her forehead to his. You already did. Cliffhanger ending. Suddenly, the hunter grabbed her arm. You can't do this alone, he said. It needs both of us. That's how it was built. Arya looked at him, tears in her glowing eyes. Will you stand with me now? Not as a soldier, but as my brother? A pause. Then a nod. The two stepped forward into the light. Daniel watched. The portal swallowed them whole. And then a flash. The sky screamed, and the gate began to collapse. There was no sky. Only light. Endless. Blinding. Alive. Inside the gate, Arya floated, her body glowing like a star, her mind filled with memories that weren't all her own. She saw her childhood, her planet, her family, her brother's fall, Daniel's eyes, and then everything. Every galaxy, every world, every version of what could be and what should never be. She felt the gate breathing. It wasn't just a machine. It was alive. It didn't want to close, but she was ready to let go. Beside her, the hunter he floated near, half man, half machine, and now half awake. His red eye flickered as if remembering something soft for the first time in years. Do you feel it? He asked. Arya nodded. It wants to keep us here. Forever. He gave a small smile. Then we say goodbye first. Together, their hands reached out, touching the center of the gate. A heart of light spinning like a storm. The gate pulsed and began to collapse. Back on Earth, the sky seals. Daniel fell to his knees as the light in the sky turned from purple to white. The wind stopped, the earth stilled. Then silence. The portal was gone. Only the clouds remained, soft and golden. He stood, eyes full of tears, staring at the place where they vanished. She did it, he whispered. She really did it. But his hand was still closed. Inside it, the memory sphere. 1 week later, in the cabin, Daniel sat alone by the fire. He hadn't spoken to anyone. The government had disappeared. The hunter was never seen again. The world had returned to normal, but he hadn't. He stared at the memory sphere Arya gave him. For days, it had done nothing. Now, it glowed. The final message. A soft light filled the room. Then Arya's voice. If you are hearing this, it means I'm gone, but not lost. The gate didn't take us. We took it, broke it from the inside, closed the door that no one should ever open again. Her voice paused. A deep breath. Daniel, thank you for giving me a name, a home, a reason. And if there is ever another gate, don't fight it alone. The light dimmed. Then vanished. One last gift. Daniel stepped outside. The sky was clear. But on the ground, something shined. He picked it up. A small flower. Blue. Glowing faintly, just like her. He smiled. Still watching, huh? The wind carried his words far into the trees. In the stars. The last light, far above, across stars and dust and memory. A light flickered in the void. Two shapes, side by side, floating through the endless dark. Arya and her brother. No longer running. No longer hunted, free.